Waifu nuns. Who doesn't like waifu nuns? I was scrolling through the hentai game tag on Steam as a normal man does, then I came across this interesting looking game. It's called Nunholy. It's like unholy but with the N in front of it. Its tags are S content, mature anime, and NSFW. So it's right up there with my alley. I waited until it was on sale as a normal man does, then I bought it and played it. The game starts off with this beautiful anime woman on the screen with rock-ass music playing in the background. In this game, you get to choose to play as one of these three characters, Preya, Marie, and Sain or Sane. They do different things from each other, and Marie is a ranged character, so naturally I picked her. So apparently when the night falls, it's time for the hunt. These anime waifu nuns go out their way to hunt vampires and monsters as a nun does. After that really short and vague exposition cutscene ended, it was up to me to finally start and enjoy the game. Spoiler alert, it was really fun, and I was not very good at the game. Well, judging here from the gameplay, you can see that the game is similar to Hades as both are roguelike games. Well, not to say that this surpasses or is worse than Hades, I didn't even play it. Anyways, Nunholy is an indie game that was made by the developer called Chowbee. This developer has another indie game under the belt called Wedding Witch, but I am yet to check it out. It looked similar and probably a lot more NSFW than Nunholy. Seeing the reviews for Nunholy on Steam, it all looked like positive, so it was really nothing too worrying when I spent my money on it. I spent quite a bit of time with the game, close to 5 hours for my first playthrough, and it was a lot of fun. It's like I never played something for an hour only and then criticized it harshly. Of course I'd never do that, and that video is totally not unlisted. So I don't know if all roguelike games operate with levels and stages, but in this game there are different stages and levels with different types of enemies that get harder each time, you know, like Vampire Survivors, Holocure, and the likes. This game was actually hard for me, at least, because I always mess up the dodges and severely underestimate the range of the attacks from these enemies. But I really like the design for the monsters though. They all look cool and weirdly satisfying to kill. That's the thing with these arcade style games that have a bunch of enemies going at you, is that it needs to be really satisfying to hit, kill, and dodge. I would say that the dodging in this game isn't particularly smooth because it feels clunky and it's really not in the same direction of my controller sometimes, as well as the attacking, but all the hitting and killing the enemies is really satisfying and fun. The blood splattering, hit scan number indicators, the animations, all are pretty well done. I think this is my first time playing a game that's in a similar style to Hades, and I was pleasantly surprised at how many hours this game can keep you hooked. I did play this game for 5 hours in one sitting, so it's doing something to me, alright? It's a simple concept. You choose which character you want to play as, 2 melee and 1 ranged. Even though the range on the ranged character, Marie, is literally the same as the melee, so it technically counts as 3 melee characters. You kill a bunch of vampire and monsters at every level, you get to buy items, upgrade skills, heal your health, and all that stuff. Eventually you reach the end of the stage, which puts you into a boss fight. Then you defeat the boss, and then you go to a different stage with different types of enemies, and it repeats until how many stages there are in the game, which I do not know because the furthest I got was into the 3rd stage. But it is important to note that this game will restart if you die once at any point of the game, back to the first stage, so you cannot die until the end of the game. I don't know if there are checkpoints further into the stages, but I would not know because again, I'm not really good and I've only reached the 3rd stage. Talking about all the not safe for work tags that this game has, it's barely not safe for work. Sure, the characters in the game have designs that are pretty spicy and are ooh, but I don't think it is an actual not safe for work game. If you compare this to Honey Pop is a real not safe for work game where there are more things than just showing their skin on screen and wearing tight skimpy clothing. I mean, I don't think the game doesn't have anything like that as far as I know of. Seeing from the reviews as well, it tells me that it does not have very NSFW content in it. Is that a good thing or not? Hey, I personally think that there could be more interactions with the characters even if it's NSFW content. I would rather have those than just only being able to buy things from them and gathering the heartstones that level up the interaction thingy, but I'm not complaining. Although I did see something on the store page that said when characters level up or interact with NPCs, illustrations of them wearing revealing outfits are displayed. In the ending, illustrations depict each character wearing revealing outfits and striking sensual poses. Maybe that's the reason this game included all the NSFW and mature tags. With my experience in the game, I did say it was a lot of fun and I enjoyed it. Why is that? Firstly, it's definitely my first time with this type of game. I did not play any games that are similar like this, even though Hololive is within the action roguelike genre. It's still not the same thing. It's wholly different. This type of game, the movement and the combat, has a lot more substance to it compared to something like Hololive. Despite it still being one of my favorite indie games that actually had a lot of content to offer, the core mechanics of Nunholy is way different and, it has a lot more substance to it. For example, Nunholy, they have things like holy, physical, and fire damage, where holy damage you can stack up like until 4 times and it deals a burst of damage on the last hit. Physical damage does the most amount of raw damage possible, and fire damage lights the enemies on fire and does damage over time. Your character also has different sets of skills and weapons that you can pick and choose. There are different ways to get items and to level up, but it uses the same blood orbs that your character gets depending on which level you choose from. What I really like about this is that it really allows us to approach the levels and stages differently each time, which really depends on what type of playstyle you want to do. Sometimes it can get confusing because the icons on the different upgrades are in the same theme, so it's in the same color, and it's hard for me to tell the differences because there is something severely wrong with my eyes. I don't know why. But make sure you guys are reading the description of the things you choose carefully because it is important. Another thing that I really like from the game is the art and visuals. Yes, character designs are spicy, but they are really good artworks. The developer is an artist as well on Twitter, similar to KU, the developer of Hololive. How are they doing these types of things, man? I thought drawing cute, sexy anime girls are way different than making a game about cute, sexy anime girls. The character designs on this game are really well drawn, and it really fits the archetype of sexy vampire hunter nuns. It is the literal depiction of vampire hunter nuns. I don't know why, but I really like the way that their faces are drawn. The eyes and the whole skin of the face looks very soft and it seamlessly blends in together, which is satisfying to see, I guess. I feel like being an artist and a game developer at the same time is a cheat code because you don't need to hire artists or game character designers. You can just do it on your own. Well, the downside is that more work for yourself. So all is not green on the other side, I guess. Speaking still on the topic of art and visuals, the in-game models are really good too. I really like this style. It's like 3D and 2D at the same time, if that's how you describe it. Again, these things are like visual candy for the eyes. It's such a satisfying model to look at. I don't know how I can describe why it's so satisfying, but I'm pretty sure that these animations and the style of the in-game models are just really smooth and silky. Especially Sane, her attack animations are very smooth and it's so satisfying to just keep attacking the enemies with her. The game also has a lot of enemy variety as there are different stages that you can reach after defeating the boss. Even when you reach the boss level, you won't be facing the same bosses every time in the stage. They have different bosses which can vary in difficulty and it all can come down to luck to either breeze past through the boss like slicing room temp knife to room temp butter or to put up a fight. Enemy designs in this game also look pretty cool. There are dogs, bugs, skeletons, the KKK, vampire bats looking things, spiders, and a whole lot more. Although there is one monster design that I personally do not like, and it's these things. I don't know what they're called. They have the head of a xenomorph, but they lack an actual body, so it's just a xenomorph head connected to a pair of legs. That monster design could use a little more work into it. Talking about music now, the music is great. It's really good. I'm not a music connoisseur. I can't describe and criticize music like a distinguished gentleman at a fancy restaurant swirling around his wine glass. But what I can tell you is that if you like rock music, the soundtrack is great. I think a few of them eventually became really catchy for me and it just fits with the theme of the game. What is there for me to say? Of course, this game isn't perfect. In fact, the game is not really a super grand game that will change gaming forever. It's not like that. Just like most indie games, it finds an interesting concept and it builds around that. This game has problems in its movement, UI, and NPCs. Like I said before, the movement can be clanky at times because the dodging and the direction of the attacks doesn't seem to be the full 360-degree direction. I'm using a controller to play this game, so obviously the sticks on a controller can go around a full 360 and the game feels like it does not allow me to attack in the whole circle 360-degree direction. And because of that, I think the dodging and attacking movement could use more polish and smoothing because I really want to be able to attack at any angle and it needs to be really smooth and fluid like a snake slithering on ice. There's nothing wrong with the animations and the attacks, just the movements need a little more work. Second problem is the UI. The UI when you're in combat is decent. It's concise and pretty straightforward. Top left you have your health, level, ult indicator, and the control button indicators as well. At the top right of your screen, it shows the amount of blood orbs that you have. The real problem is the UI in the inventory and when you're talking to the nuns in the base where you get to upgrade your stuff. It does not look good. Let's just take a look at the inventory UI. This is a whole lot of space that is severely wasted on just displaying the status of the weapons. I feel like it could be a whole lot smaller, and with that extra space you could add a different functionality for it. For example, showing the level of interactions with the NPCs so you don't have to leave it up to the chance of them showing up in a level. And also the top part of the inventory looks really messy and it looks like it's from a mobile game. Maybe try not displaying the skills on top of the weapon and have the money and the heartstone things to be displayed, on the red only or somewhere else instead of displaying it on the gun. It looks messy and just unsatisfying to read. It looks kind of cheap. Sorry. It's a very cluttered up mess. So, try and improve on that. Then for the nuns in the base interaction UI, it needs more polish and much more style. It's still a bit messy and I think it will trigger some people that have OCD, so needs more refinement. Third problem is the NPCs. Look, this game has very beautiful nun waifus. We obviously would want more interactions with them. So far, the interactions with the NPCs are just buying things from them, getting upgrades, buying garlic, healing you, and things like that. And also, having a lot more revealing clothing at the end. But I didn't even get to see those because I haven't even finished the final stage. Please, please, please add more interactions with them. Maybe add like a small story and dialogue options to get to know them better. This is like a lot of beautiful nun waifus. Who wouldn't want to interact with them? So is Nunholy worth your time and money? Yes. This game is simple. It's fun. You get to kill vampires and monsters as enemy nuns. What is there not to like? The UI and movement could be a little better as those are my main complaints with the game. It could be me just being nitpicky, but it's far from a perfect game. Let's just hope that the developer doesn't just release and run and never update the game again. This is simply a good game that delivers a solid experience on what it's trying to do. An action roguelike game with the theme of vampire hunters and anime. That's fun and offers a lot of hours for how simple it is. It has a great soundtrack, it has pretty fluid animations, the artwork is fantastic, and the visuals are satisfying. On top of that, it's just like $8. It's good. Putting on a scale, I'll give it an 8.1 out of 10. Definitely a lot of room for improvement, and this could be an actual scaling project if the developer desires so, because it has a lot of room for more content and things like that. So check out this game, buy it for yourself and play it. It's fun. That is all. I'll see you.